should ever call 99999. It's a forbidden sequence, whispered about in hushed tones, known only to those who dare to seek the unimaginable. The legend goes like this. If you dial the number after midnight, you'll hear a voice on the other end, soft and chilling, offering you anything you desire. A wish, a secret, a moment of power. But nothing comes without a cost. For every wish granted, a price is paid in blood. The moment you utter your request, you seal your fate. The voice will ask for nothing except your life. And when the sun rises, you will be gone, swallowed by an unseen force. The urban legend has spread like wildfire, horrifying those who hear it. Some say it's just a story. Others swear they've felt the cold grip of death after making the call. And in 2002, the legend was brought to the screen in the horrifying film 99999. It's a tale that lingers, a dark invitation you should never, ever answer. In the shadowed corners of Maple Hill Park, Alabama, lies a playground drenched in death and sorrow, known as the Dead Children's Playground. It sits next to the Maple Hill Cemetery, a final resting place for dozens of children who perished during the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918. Their spirits, restless and angry, are said to haunt the swings and slides, forever trapped between life and death. Late at night, when the moon casts long shadows across the park, eerie sounds can be heard. The creak of the swing sets moving without wind, the faint laughter of children too young to understand the weight of their fate. Some say that if you stand near the playground after dark, you'll feel a chill, an oppressive presence that fills the air, as if something, someone is watching you from the darkness. Those brave enough to visit the playground claim to see the swings moving on their own, as if pushed by invisible hands. Others have reported hearing the soft, disembodied whispers of children pleading to be brings the sounds that unsettle those who dare to linger. Some have felt a tug on their clothing, a cold hand brushing against their skin, as if the lost children of Maple Hill are reaching out for company, forever seeking the warmth of life they lost so long ago. If you hear their voices, you may never leave the playground, and perhaps you may never want to. In the dark corners of Brentwood, New Hampshire, the name Goody Cole still sends shivers down the spine of those who dare speak it. Eunice Cole, a frail, weathered woman with eyes that seemed to see through the veil of life and death, was condemned to be a witch twice. The first accusation came in 1656, when the village suffered one tragedy after another. Crops withered, children fell ill, and livestock died in grotesque, unnatural ways. Whispers spread like wildfire. It was her, Goody Cole, they said. She was the one responsible for the misfortune that gripped their town. In 1673, the accusations resurfaced with a vengeance. Goody Cole was arrested once more, this time charged with witchcraft after the village saw another wave of disaster. Her name became a curse on every passing wind. People claimed she could curse the very earth beneath their feet. Her spells laced with malice and blood. No one truly knows what happened to Goody Cole. Some say she died in a dank, forgotten cell. Her spirit lingering in the fog that rolls over the town, waiting for the next to dare invoke her name. They say if you wander too far in the woods near Brentwood at night, you might feel her cold, dead gaze upon you. Her laughter echoing through the trees as she beckons you closer into her cursed, eternal grasp. The clown doll is a chilling urban legend that has haunted many late-night conversations. It starts with a seemingly innocent scene. A babysitter left alone with the children in a quiet, suburban home. In the corner of the living room stands a creepy, lifelike clown doll, its painted smile twisted, eyes too bright, frozen in a disturbing gaze. The babysitter, unnerved by the doll's eerie presence, calls the parents to ask if she should move it. But the voice voice on the other end of the line is calm, almost too calm, as they reply, "We don't own a clown doll." Terrified, the babysitter checks the kids, who are fast asleep, and locks every door. But in the dark silence, a faint sound comes from the living room, a soft scraping, like something moving. Heart racing, she creeps downstairs, only to find the doll gone. Before she can react, she hears footsteps behind her, a cold breath on her neck. The clown doll wasn't a doll at all. It was the murderer, disguised, watching and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The horror. It's always been in plain sight.
In the shadowed woods near Leicestershire, a creature of nightmare prowls, Black Annis, the dreaded blue-faced hag. Cloaked in darkness, her gnarled face is stained a haunting shade of blue, her iron claws gleaming with a terrifying sharpness, honed from years of hunting in the dead of night. Children and townsfolk alike know the tales of her hunger, a twisted craving for human flesh that sends shivers through the village. Black Annis hides in a cave carved from the rocks by her own jagged claws, a lair littered with the remains of her grisly feasts. Animal bones, and some say human bones, line the ground, while the chilling stench of decay fills the air. As dusk falls, she slinks from her den, her clawed hands scratching along tree trunks, leaving deep gouges in the bark. Her piercing eyes, dark and unforgiving, scan the surroundings, searching, waiting. She has a particular taste for children, her long, spindly fingers reaching out to snatch any who wander too close to the edge of the woods. Many parents tell their children tales of Black Annis, warning them not to stray after dark, lest they become her next victim. They say she hides beneath beds or crouches outside windows, her twisted grin visible just beyond the glass, savouring the fear of those trapped inside. Sometimes, villagers claim to hear her unearthly wails in the wind, a bone-chilling howl that pierces the night. They say it's her call, a twisted lullaby that drags the unwary toward her grasp. On moonless nights, her figure can be seen creeping through the shadows, her blue face glowing faintly, iron claws poised to strike. Today, the legend of Black Annis still haunts the children of Leicestershire, a ghastly spectre lurking at the edge of nightmares, waiting to snatch anyone who dares defy the tales of her insatiable hunger. In the dense, silent depths of Bradley Woods near Lincolnshire, a dark figure roams, the Black Lady of Bradley Woods, a spectre draped in endless mourning. She appears at twilight, her form shrouded in a flowing black gown that seems to absorb the very light around her. Her face is pale and sorrowful, framed by a long, dark veil that hides her eyes, but reveals a silent, haunting grief etched across her ghostly features. Legend says she was once a young woman, a mother whose husband went off to war, leaving her and their infant alone. But one terrible night, soldiers stormed the village, stealing her child and leaving her desolate. Consumed by a profound, unyielding sorrow, she wandered into the woods, where her wails of despair echoed through the trees. Now, her restless spirit haunts the forest, forever searching for the child stolen from her, an eternity bound to her endless mourning. Those who have seen the Black Lady say she moves without sound, gliding over the forest floor, her black dress trailing like smoke. Her presence brings a chilling, bone-deep cold, and her mournful cries pierce the night, carrying a sadness so intense it leaves an ache in the hearts of all who hear it. Villagers warn against approaching her, for those who venture too close feel an icy hand grip their shoulder, a desperate, lingering hold, as though she's begging for help. Some believe that if you call out to her, she will turn to you, lifting her veil to reveal hollow, grief-stricken eyes that seem to draw you into her despair. Those who meet her gaze are said to be marked by sorrow, plagued by visions of loss and shadowed by misfortune. To this day, locals avoid Bradley Woods at dusk, lest they encounter the Black Lady and her relentless sorrow, a tragic figure bound forever to her haunting search for the child she lost. In the heart of Iowa City's Oakland Cemetery stands a figure cloaked in darkness and mystery, the Black Angel, a towering bronze statue that looms over the grave of Teresa Feldvert. Erected in mourning, the angel's darkened form and unsettling gaze quickly became the source of fearful whispers. Legend says she is cursed, a silent harbinger of death, watching and waiting for those who dare to defy her silent warning. By day, the statue is imposing, her massive wings stretching wide, casting shadows over the graves below. But as night falls, her presence shifts from solemn to sinister. Those who have dared to visit her after dark claim to feel an intense, bone-chilling cold radiate from the statue, as if death itself were reaching out. They say that anyone who dares touch the angel at midnight will suffer misfortune, illness, or worse, death within days. Some claim to have seen her eyes glow faintly, an unnatural, haunting light that pierces through the fog, as if the angel herself is peering into the souls of those nearby. A few witnesses swear that her wings have moved, rustling slightly, and her hands seem to reach out, fingers stiff yet desperate, as if she longs to pull the living into her cold, stone embrace. Teenagers once dared to kiss the feet of the angel, testing her rumoured curse, but tragedy followed. Accidents, inexplicable illnesses, and even untimely deaths plagued those who tried to defy her legend. Her presence, they say, is more than mere stone. It is a shadow of sorrow and vengeance, eternally bound to the cemetery. awaits anyone brave or foolish enough to